Aiming in Modern Warfare 3 isn't as easy as it seems. There's so many different situations where one strategy might work, but then you get into another gunfight and you need to rethink everything. You need to track fast-moving players, players in long distance, players up close, and also players while you're getting shot at, and so on and so forth. No two gunfights are the same, and that goes for every single gunfight you get into game after game. So you might find yourself searching video after video, and it seems like everyone that you look at has different settings. Everyone claims that they have the best settings in the game as well.
Now, for the aiming settings, you guys can see here, I am playing on a 6 horizontal as well as a 6 vertical.
For my sensitivity, I play on 5.6.
Now, for our aiming settings here, we have our horizontal and vertical sensitivity. I have not changed mine from 7. I think this is just a perfect spot here.
And you end up trying all these different ones and nothing seems to work for you. Well guys, this is because every controller is different. My right joystick might be a lot looser than yours, making my lower sensitivity of 5.5 equivalent to your 10.10. Some people like myself also choose to play with longer joysticks, giving us a lot more control over our accuracy while aiming at players and allowing us to play at a much lower sensitivity too. And also with the amount of settings in this game, it could become super overwhelming because there's just so many that you could choose from. There's millions of different combinations and it's just insane to look at. And you might not even want to change these settings and just leave them at the default. And I'm not here in this video to give you guys the best settings. I'm not here to claim that I have the best settings. I'm actually here to tell you guys what you could do to find out the best settings for your exact controller and for your exact playstyle. So what can you do in order to do this? Well, there's a few things, and one of the most important things when you get into a gunfight and just playing this game in general is practicing your centering. Sure, you could have the fanciest movement alive, but movement is not going to win you gunfights, guys. But practicing your centering is one of the most important elements to winning every single gunfight in this game. This will minimize the time it takes you to adjust your aim before an enemy appears, which allows you to hit your shots as fast as possible. Players with bad centering need to spend all that valuable time right when they see an enemy readjusting their aim, and if the enemy they're coming up against has good centering, they'll be able to drop them almost instantly. Now, centering is the most important aspect to winning any gunfight because the time to kill in Modern Warfare 3 is so fast. Whoever shoots first normally comes out on top, unless you have a better ping and someone's playing on 200. That's a whole different topic for a whole nother video. And just to explain centering in the most basic terms, it's where you have your crosshairs pointed as you move around the map. Instead of having it pointed at the floor, you should have it pointed somewhere where you think enemies are going to come out of. So if they come out of that area, all you got to do is aim down sights and don't have to worry about readjusting your aim whatsoever. Now, you might think centering is super simple, and in theory, on paper, it actually is, but good centering is actually one of the hardest things to get down properly in Modern Warfare 3. A good player knows that enemies could come from literally anywhere, not just one location. So even if you're aiming down, you're running around, not aiming down sights, but even if you're running around the map, aiming at a certain window, an enemy could pop out of a doorway or out of a whole different location that you weren't even expecting, and this is going to make it really hard for you to readjust and actually win that gunfight. But good players, they don't have to look in one certain area. They'll have their sights down and ready for when an enemy might come out of anywhere. Take this spot as an example. You could have 4 different areas that an enemy comes out of. If you're only aiming or running around looking at one spot, chances are if he comes out really far on the other side, you're going to lose that gunfight. But if you keep your crosshair centered into the center of these 4 areas, you'll actually end up giving yourself minimal readjusting and having a much better chance at winning that gunfight. Now, great centering is giving you guys great aim when you aim down sights. This means that we got to find our best sensitivity in order to have great centering. So what could you do to find your best sensitivity? One thing that I highly recommend is to go into a private match, find an area where it gives you a long enough distance to run back and forth, and choose 4 areas to aim at on that map. You could even use the exact same area that I'm using right here in the background, and one thing you want to do is run around, do not aim down sights, and just try to play on a very low sensitivity to start this off at. I started off at 5.5, and then you can move up from there and see what is your best. And what you want to do is run around and have your crosshairs centered to all those 4 different locations, or or 5 different locations, whatever you guys want to run, even 2 if you want. And as long as you remain accurate and you're able to not need to readjust your accuracy or anything like that, you are on a good sensitivity. Bring it up and try to find a sensitivity that you could sit at and still remain accurate. So for example, you see me here, I'm running around, I'm pretty accurate right here. I'm playing on a 5.5. I could bump it up to a 6.6 and see if I still remain accurate here. Now keep doing this until you find the sensitivity where you begin to struggle. If you see that you're struggling at all, you might want to stop there and lower your sensitivity by 1 after this. As you guys can see, this is where I begin to struggle, and I realize that this is not going to work if I'm playing on multiplayer. I'm going to have to bring it down a notch and play at a different sensitivity. Maybe on 8.8, that might work for me, maybe even lower, and it might be better. This way, when I get back online, I'll be able to have my centering perfect, and there's so many different scenarios where you just don't want to be too fast and have something that you can't control too much in gunfights. Now, a lot of people, they watch TikTok videos, and a lot of these TikTokers, they upload gameplays of them moving super fast, YYing every single time as they're running. Just everything is so fast. They're at 20/20 sensitivity, and a lot of people think that in order to have perfect aim and win gunfights, that they need to play exactly like this as well. And the truth is, unless you have hours upon hours every single day to practice this, this is normally a really bad idea for the average player. This is not going to work for the typical player on Call of Duty. So what I recommend is to play at a lower sensitivity. There is absolutely no issue playing at a lower sensitivity, as it'll give you more control and accuracy before any gunfight begins, which is what we just learned to be the most crucial time before you get into a gunfight, which allows you to win a gunfight. Now, good centering is great, but what happens when you actually get into gunfights? Centering is not going to help you. It's only going to help you right before you get into a gunfight, and most players in this game, they honestly don't stand still, and they don't let you shoot them. They also shoot back at you. So how could you win these gunfights? And this is where good tracking comes into play. You're gonna need to test out your ADS sensitivity. This is a sensitivity where when you're aiming down sights, when you get into a gunfight, it'll allow you to either be faster or slower. And I recommend going really low on this and getting into another private match, except this time, instead of loading into a private match all by yourself, you're gonna want to turn on a bunch of recruit bots on the enemy team and just set the maximum amount of bots that you could actually put on. Turn off your aim assist. This is the most crucial part. You got to turn off that aim assist, and you got to set the damage to the maximum amount, and also set it to headshots only. This way, you're gonna have to force yourself to aim at the bots' heads as they run around. And the reason you want that on recruits is because you don't care if they shoot back at you. Now, you just want to get as many kills as you possibly can, and you won't have aim assist to help you do this. So if you see that you begin to struggle as you're turning up that ADS sensitivity, you might want to stop at somewhere where you begin to struggle. And I'm not going to say you have to lower it here, but right when you see that you're starting to miss a lot more shots, stop it right there, use that ADS sensitivity, and leave it as is. And the reason I say leave it as is when you struggle is because this is actually going to be the perfect value for you. Once you turn your aim assist back on, it's going to slightly bring up your ADS sensitivity a little bit as you're in gunfights, but this is because you're going to go back onto multiplayer. You want to have your aim assist on. You don't want to be too slow, and you'll also actually be really nice and accurate when your aim assist is back on. So even though it is higher than what you were doing good at when playing in those private matches, you're also going to have the whole body to aim at, which is a lot easier than just the head, and you're going to have aim assist kicking in, helping you win those gunfights a lot more. Guys, if I helped anybody out at all, let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are around here with those notifications turned on. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.